You know, welcome to the season premiere of Squared Logic, by the way. You know, I love a new football season. I love a new Packers season. The hype packages, trades being made, players making teams. I mean, trades being Micah Parsons, which is a franchise-altering trade that a lot of people are comparing to the Reggie White acquisition and free agency. But I'm not saying that, but others are. But I love a new NFL season. What I cannot stand is trying to predict what's going to happen in the first few weeks of a new regular season of the NFL. But here we are, another season, Squared Logic, our prediction show for the Green Bay Packers, and we're going to try our best to give that to you. So let's hop into week one action. The Lions of Detroit come to Lambeau Field finally. A season opener on the not so frozen tundra, and it is a potential NFC Championship game preview. Again, I cannot stand trying to predict these early season games because everyone in the preseason was vanilla. And then everyone's got a laundry list of guys that have tweaks and bumps and pulls and strains, and you don't know who's going to play, and there's no injury designations, this, that, and the third. But we're going to try our best here. When you look at Detroit, you know what they want to do. They want to run the football and take their shots down the field. They are very successful in doing so. But they've gone through a lot of change. Ben Johnson, no longer there as offensive coordinator. He's the head man of Chicago. Aaron Glenn, no longer there as the DC in Detroit. He's in New York with the Jets. So, a lot of change, a lot of turnover, and not to mention, they have injuries on their offensive line. They have injuries in their defense. But one thing Detroit was always good at last season was overcoming adversity. That is until the Commanders decided to come into Ford Field and dog walk them all up and down Detroit, but that's a different story for a different day. Up until that point, they were always able to overcome those things. They're going to have to show me personally again they can continue to do so. A lot of the pieces are still there. The toughness of Dan Campbell is still there. But they're going to have to prove it on the field. And speaking of proving it on the field, we mentioned Micah Parsons for the Green Bay Packers. Again, a franchise-altering trade that could put you over the top. For me, it puts them in the conversation for a Super Bowl. I'm not saying they're the favorites. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl or even make it. But they are at least in the conversation, and they're definitely the favorites in the North. But again, they're going to have to prove this on the field. Micah Parsons is dealing with the back sprain. We don't know how much or if he'll play at all. So far, no injury designation, but he has been limited in practice. Jordan Love, thumb surgery over the past couple of weeks. He's been a full participant in practice, so you fully expect him to go week one against Detroit. They too want to run the football. They want to get Josh Jacobs, who had a hell of a season last season, going. They want to establish that run and take their shots down the field with the dynamic new rookie, Matthew Golden. You know what Romeo Doubs brings to the table. Will Jaden Reed be able to play with that Jones fracture that he has there? You got Tucker Kraft, you got Luke Musgrave. You have no shortage of guys who can catch this football and do some things with it. And an offensive line that was very cohesive last season. One of the better offensive lines in all of football. They were productive. They were able to get the job done. They protected. I was about to say Aaron Rodgers, but I didn't. They protected Jordan Love, number 10, very well. But they're going to have to take another step, and so is Jordan Love. They want to be the Super Bowl contenders that everybody is pretty much putting them out to be because of this Micah Parsons trade. And defensively, you also have to go out there and do the damn job. Year two in Jeff Hafley's system, you know his focus is in the secondary. Those guys are going to have to step up. No Jair there, but they had stepped up without Jair anyway because he was injured for most of last season. You know the characters. You know the cast. You know the location. So with that being said, who wins? Who prevails? Week one. Season opener. Lambeau Field. Detroit. Green Bay. Sunday afternoon. I've got to go Green Bay 28, Detroit 23. It's going to be a little bit ugly. I think defenses will show a little bit better to start the game off, and then teams will be able to start putting drives together. Green Bay was only 1-5 within the division, which was not good enough. They got swept by Detroit. They were a block kick away from getting swept by the entire division last season, and they want to show a lot better. And what better test than week 1, Detroit at home, Lambeau Field. I think they do just enough to escape with that victory at home. Green Bay over Detroit, 28-23. The Packers over the Lions, 28-23. Remember, it does not matter the score. All that matters is I said that Green Bay would defeat Detroit week 1, Sunday afternoon at Lambeau Field. Who do you think is going to win? Let us know below. But until then, I'm T Squared. This is Squared Logic. We out.